And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, week number 75. So your weekly dose of Korean StarCraft. I'm of course SIVIP, with you. I'm joined by these amazing players, by the Hulu chats, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all. And also a big shout out to Scorpling. Thank you so much, Happy God. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. And welcome, one and all, to a bit of a catch-up replay cast. For those that are unaware, for those who weren't a part of this maybe a week ago or so at this point, the KSL was hosted over the weekend, was covered over the weekend. We unfortunately weren't able to cast it live. At the time we were casting another tournament. We're always casting, but we're always casting. We were casting the OSC mid-season playoffs, so we weren't able to cover both at the same time. But now we're here. Now we're back with week 75 of the KSL. Let's go. Let us go. So we have some catching up to do. Also, I hope you all had a great weekend. Again, it was a very intense weekend of StarCraft. A lot's going on with DreamHack Dallas, with the GSL coverage that we had as well. And the week continues with even more StarCraft. We're not stopping. Last night we were live with the Woody TV Monday. Here this morning we have the KSL. Tonight we have the May Madness. And this week we have not just Season 2 of GSL. This week we also have the EWC qualifiers. Oh boy, there's going to be essentially region qualifiers for Europe, for Korea, for the North Americas, and for the rest of Asia as well. It's going to be very intense, and best of luck to everyone involved. I saw Baby Marine in the chat. Best of luck to Baby Marine and all the other competitors that are going to be taking part. It's going to be very intense, especially the European qualifiers. I mentioned this yesterday. I mentioned this during DreamHack actually, after the event, how ideally I think a lot of European players were expecting the European qualifier to be a little bit less stacked, expecting players like Clem, expecting players, not quite Clem, because Clem he already has a seed, expecting players like at least Cyril, maybe even Raynor, to make a deep run and to qualify for EWC at DreamHack Dallas. That didn't quite happen. You know, upsets occurred. Top 4 was pure Korean players. Because of that, Cyril most likely will be a part of the European qualifier alongside your Raynors, alongside your other top European players. So that European qualifier is going to be very intense. It's going to be very intense. It's going to be very jam-packed. So it's going to be a bloodbath, and I look forward to covering it. Of course, we're going to be covering as much as we can here on the channel. All the region qualifiers, European, Asian, Korean, and North American as well. The Korean qualifiers are going to be a little bit less intense, as there are now a plethora of players that already made it through. So best of luck. Best of luck to all those competing in the qualifiers, and likewise GSL this week as well. But now that we're catching up on the KSL, a lot to catch up on here. We're going to be jumping into the quarterfinals. We have first a PvT between Creator and Percival. Let's go. Let us go. We're going to be going over this match, then the semifinals, then the grand finals thereafter. Should be a bit of a shorter broadcast, but I'm more than happy to just have a shorter broadcast as well, especially after the DreamHack weekend. It's been intense, man. It's been very intense. So I'm happy to slow things down a little bit. But here we go. We're jumping to game 1, and game 1 is going to be on late lines. Let's go. Likewise, hope you all enjoyed the rest of your week here as well. As we jump into game number 1. And this morning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Little Fairy. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Alkazia Esports. It is a Creator. We go. Okay, later on tonight we're going to be live with the May Mayhem day number 1 of the group stage. Once again, it's quite similar to this event, where it is going to be a replay broadcast of an event that did occur a couple of weeks ago. When it comes to the May Mayhem, we did cover day 1, we did cover day 3. Sorry, we covered day 2, day 3, but we did miss out on day 1, so we do have the replay. So we're going to be catching up on those day 1 matches before the playoffs, which will be later on this week. Oh boy, playoffs are going to be later on this week, but otherwise, going to be calming down, settling into our best of 3. So far, double gas opener out of Percival. He has been hyper aggressive, even pre-DreamHack Dallas. The meta when it comes to Korean Terran players has been 2 base all-ins, so we expect something similar here out of Percival. Likewise, we'll see if Creator can survive that. Creator, he typically is a more defensive player. When it comes to the Korean Protosses, I do kind of pin Creator as the most defensive of all of them, more defensive than Hero. typically. Likewise, more defensive than Classic, more defensive than Trap, and of course all the others. So we'll see how he does compare. We'll see what Percival brings to the table. Percival has also been really surprising us as of late. He recently defeated players like Skillus, players like I want to say Creator actually as well, players like Shin. Percival, he's been getting some better and better results here in recent weeks. It's been very impressive to see that. Of course, he did travel to DreamHack to compete and to really show off that skill, of course. And now we're here featuring him against Creator. Let's go. Let's go. For now, again, double gas opener leads into a faster factory, leads into a delayed CC on the low ground. Someone was asking, or I should say Baby Marine was asking earlier about us covering Mario versus Creator at DreamHack Dallas. I don't think we did. I think at the time of that match, I think we ended up covering some of the lower bracket matches instead. But I believe replay packs were made available. I believe they can be found on social media, and we will be having a replay broadcast of the EWC qualifying matches, of the matches that we didn't cover. That'll be probably next week. Like we'll find some time and we'll try to fit in a replay cast of those DreamHack Dallas matches that we did miss out on. I think like for example, like Mario versus Creator, or like Cyril versus Solar as well. Like there are definitely a couple of key qualifying matches, like the group stage matches that we missed out on, that were, you know, we were otherwise covering other matches, and yeah, we'll catch up. We'll get there. Until then, Reapers are being active behind this Robo Opener out of Creator. We spoke about defensive play. We spoke about how Creator, he is typically more defensive, and there it is, Robo Opener back at home. This is a very safe way to open up here in PvT. Does give you access to early Immortal production, early Colossus production, or even early Observers, early War Prism as well to help migrate, help bounce back. We do see Percival attempt to break into the natural, but so far the SimCity is solid. There's a Sentry, there are Force Fields, and Creator, he is holding back at home. Likewise, across the map, Percival going for his tech lab on that factory, going Cyclone first. Hallucination does confirm the add-on setup, does confirm reactive Marines, and the drop that's on the way. Now from here, we can go into an add-on swap into Banshee play. We can commit into tank production. We can make a second Cyclone. There are a couple of different ways that we can kind of transition out of this or continue aggression as well. Speaking of, there it is going to be the add-on swap. So it's going to be initially a Hellion drop, sorry, I should say Cyclone drop into, I imagine, Banshee play. We'll see if we go Raven instead. Drop is moving out. Yep, there we go. Cloak Banshee out of Percival, so we opts to go for the add-on swap. Again, this is one of the many possibilities that you can kind of transition or can kind of move out of from the initial Cyclone. Is going to be Cloak Banshee. Quite committed, but thankfully Robo Opener, so there is already access to detection, so we can get the Observer. Likewise, Cyclone drop into the mineral line, gets one perp so far, gets one worker, but shouldn't get much more than that. Heli Reaper does bust in. Uh-oh. Yeah, Creator not quite in position, a little bit late to react as well. Stalkers, they left idle here in the main. They do react, they do respond, they do take down the Hellion at least, but 3 pros do go down. Nice target firing shield, but not done in time. Just a couple of seconds too late. Stalker did fall, but in the end, Creator, he will hold, and he doesn't lose too much here. Oh my god, as a matter of fact, is going to be targeted down, does fall. Massive pickup. And we do see that the Stalker does barely survive. Whew. Oh my god. And with that, Creator, he will clean this up. At checking the trades here, 4 workers did fall, a Stalker, Sentry. Not the worst trade here for Percival. Ideally, you do want a 1-2 punch here. You have the drop coming in, and then you have the Banshee follow-up here to clean up. Unfortunately here, as the Banshees are going to be moving out, as the Banshees are backing up, getting ready for Cloak, remember there was a Robo Opener. Remember there is already detection. Observer is moving out. Now, if there's no second Observer, we can always recall. We can recall the Observer back home, or we could just make another Observer after this War Prism. We'll see if Percival can piece together what's going on as the Banshees are moving out. So 2 Cloak Banshees, they can one-shot workers. They can one-shot probes. They can be very, very devastating. They can get a lot done as they make their way towards the natural. Likewise, Creator moving out as well. Is not making another Observer. Uh-oh. The one Observer's across the map. Does he recall? Does he chrono out a new one? Does chrono. It's Banshees, they hit the middle line. 1, 2, 3, 4 probes going down. There's the recall. Only one Stalker. Uh-oh. Only one Stalker in position. Limited anti-air. There we go. Rest of Stalkers do move from the main. And we will defend. but at a cost of 10 probe kills. 10 workers going down, that is well worth it. At the same time, Creator dropping into the main, gets a tank. Tank goes down, boys are being pulled, Prism does fall. Warpin does barely complete, but this is going to be an expensive drop here. This Immortal goes down, yeah, brutal trade there for Creator. Better for Percival. And the Banshee is still going ham. The Banshee is still popping up. Shouldn't get much more done. We'll get maybe one more probe towards the end. As the Banshee is turned away, checking the trades here. So far, 16 probe kills, the Immortal, the War Prism as well. Very nice trades for Percival. And back at home, he's expanding. He's not going to base all in. Okay. Not going for the all in. He's pulling back, getting into stim, combat shields, building up his bio, getting more Raxes. And we're building up towards a longer game state. Yo, Terran getting a 3rd CC, crazy. Oh my god. But he is expanding. Is building up. Likewise moves out with a double drop. Tanks, they stay back home. To stay back home as Percival does make his way towards the main. Oh, does boost in. Creator, he has eyes on this, but not quite in position. The drop does unload. Can go for the Stalkers, can go for the Pylon. Oh, that is not just Pylon, depowers everything, not bad. External Lance is not researched, and he trades nicely here behind the mineral line. Yeah, nice positioning. Takes down the Zealous, takes down the Stalker, going for the Bay as well. Massive pickup. Takes down the Bay, going for the Colossus even. Colossus takes a lot of hits. And he can go for it. The last settles for the Stalker and picks up. Likewise, reinforcements, they hit the 3rd base. And Creator is being pulled apart. And again, he had the tools to defend initially, but just so much damage throughout the course of this game. All those workers, 3rd base goes down, Bay as well, no more Colossus, 3rd one's on the way. And GG gets called, it's just too much to handle, and Percival, he will overwhelm, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. A very impressive game 1 there from Percival to be able to pop off. I mean, again, despite the safer opener at a Creator, he wasn't quite in position when it comes to the Observer, when it comes to the Stalkers as well. A little bit of later reactions at a Creator as well. And here, Percival, he was able to just tear him apart. GG, well played. Very impressive stuff. And again, it also shows kind of like the strength of Percival nowadays. Like, I do give a lot of credit to his aggression, to his micro, to his tenacity as well when it comes to a lot of his matchups, including his TVZ against Zerg. But we'll see if he can keep it up. We'll see if Creator can adjust and tighten up his play as well, as game 2 is going to be on Ultra Love. Let's go. Getting into Ultra Love, and again, impressive initial game 1 here from Percival. And we'll see if he can keep up that momentum as we're loading into game 2. And spawning in the right hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Team Little Fairy. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Alkadzia Esports. It is a Creator. Here we go. Whew. Okay, and we'll see how Creator will adjust here as we load into Ultra Love. Ultra Love is a smaller map, a shorter rush distance by ground. You can be even more aggressive here on Ultra Love. Percival, he was aggressive, that is true, with drop play, with harassment, but he wasn't all in. Bear that in mind. He was expanding, he was taking up, he was working on that next step. Things just got very quickly, very out of hand. Here, we could see Percival commit even harder. Speaking of committing, double gas. Double gas opener out of Percival. Now, last game, if you remember, this led into initially a Cyclone drop followed by a Cloak Banshee. It was great, did a lot of damage. I don't expect the same build. I expect something different here. Still a factory before CC, of course. But from here, we can go into maybe additional Cyclones. We can open up with initially a Mine drop into tank production. We can go a couple different ways here from the side of Percival. So we'll see. We'll see how he does open up. As Creator does go for a Gate Cyber Expand, standard opener out of Creator. Initially does go for a standard start. Remember, last game did go for a Robo as his take of choice. At this time, we could go Robo once again, or a Twilight Council. I wouldn't be opposed to either one. So we are settling in. You know, Percival does go for the Reaper Scouts. Oh, Stargate opener. Okay. I don't see this as often, especially on smaller maps. This is, I would say, a bit of a risky maneuver here from Creator, a little bit greedy. Stargate openers, they can do really well for you when it comes to gaining map control or gaining map control when it comes to shutting down drop play with Phoenixes, with Oracles to harass across the map. There are different ways to open up here, but you are going to be vulnerable to early game aggression, specifically to 2-base all-ins. We often see Stargate play on larger maps just because it is safer to do so. On these smaller maps, I would say this is risky. But so far, Percival, he doesn't scout. Adept into Natural, looking to delay the CC. And will not get the Reaper. Sorry, will not get the Hellion either. Nice defense there by Percival. Behind this, 1-on-1, Tech Lab on the factory. Did go Hellion first, and it is going to be a Phoenix-based opener out of Creator. But what's important is that Percival still doesn't know. He didn't scout. From here, once again, initial Cyclone. Last game was Cyclone, yep, into Medevac, into Cyclone drop. Right now, the pressure is still on Percival. So far, the build is identical as game 1. Same opener. I say that I think this time we do have a second Reaper, and I think it was only one last game. But outside of that, and again, I could be mistaken. But double Reaper here into the main.
Ready for dust off.
Here, while the Phoenixes are about to reveal themselves, and they will. Now Percival is aware. Behind this, moving out with his initial drop. Likewise, there we go. Viking production, second Cyclone. He does react to the Phoenixes. And we'll see if he can catch one out. Oh, does get the lock on. Yeah, lock on here on the Phoenix. No lift, and the Phoenix is going to go down. Ooh, massive pickup. Uh-oh. Phoenix does full. Creator has to get the hell out of here. Bleeding out an Adept as well. Oh, just barely. Does go down. And honestly, I was going to say, I think Percival could have kept pushing, at least get a lock on to trade with the army. Alas, he didn't really know what he was pushing into. Shield battery is not yet done. Regardless, Creator, he will hold. Behind this, going Phoenix into Robo, Phoenix Colossus, potentially. Safety models on the way. From here, we can go into the Bay, into early Colossus, into a very old school composition, something we don't really see anywhere near as often anymore. Yep, there we go. Bay's on the way for Colossus. Percival, he's pushing. After catching a Phoenix, he does have some momentum. And we'll see if we can get another Phoenix. Again, this is the army. But the Immortals on the way. Do the lock on here on the Sentry. Sentry goes down. Nice pickup. Ideally, wants a lock on the Phoenixes. Triggers on the Immortal. Second Immortal's on the way. Lock-ons on the Adept. Not on the Phoenixes. Oh, and barely does survive, and with that Creator he holds. Ooh, I spoke too soon. We'll trade out a Phoenix for the Viking, but it does hold on. Percival does boost away. But it's going to be another Cyclone. Not bad. Meanwhile, tank has arrived. Percival rallying into the army. Yeah, rallying too much. Percival does overextend. Tank goes down. Massive pickup. And Percival losing far too much here. Got a little bit too excited. Bled out all the Cyclones, the tanks as well. Behind this doesn't actually have any. Wait, what? there's one Viking. This is the army. One Viking, one tank. Creator does not keep pushing, but could have. As Percival lost. Percival, for a moment there, he was down to 0 army supply. Blast is building back up. Creator, he holds, and Creator, he's gone through the worst of it. Like, the scariest part when you open up Stargate is that early Cyclone aggression, is losing potentially all of your Phoenixes, and then you lose the game. You just lose everything. Your natural gets broken, and the Terran player just commits in. But here, he survives. Does survive, gains map control, Colossus has arrived as well. Creator getting a third base, and Creator, he's safe. He's safe and sound. Percival did overextend earlier, and Creator's looking much more comfortable. Percival breaking out. We'll lose another tank. Oh, that's a lot of Vikings though. Jesus. And they do punish. Colossus goes down. Doesn't quite get all the pieces. But nice trade here from Percival. Building on more Vikings. Now taking his third base. And we're getting into a longer game state. Oh. Likewise, Vikings going to be landing. They will clean up the Zealots at least, but the tank does go down once again. Yeah, tank goes down. Nice target firing on the Immortal. But Zealots, they trade well for themselves. Oh, and Percival once again bleeding out a little bit too much. There's just not enough support. Vikings are going down. Marines as well. And Creator, he barely breaks through. Again, a very close fight. There's not really much to work with. There's 3 Zealots. Oh my god. Percival, he's holding. He's holding, he's surviving. Creator behind this on a full 3-base saturation. Now getting a 4th. Again, some very messy fights and very close defenses here for Percival. But he's holding on. Now getting into his own Ghost Academy. But now we have 2 Colossus for Creator. And the Viking count was reset. Now there are no more Vikings. Instead, medevac production. Oof. And medevac's not going to help. Bio army gets called out. I mean, there's just not enough here. Percival just bleeding out too much. Creator pushing out towards our third base. There is a minefield that's set up. Oh, trying to force any fire, not bad. So it's going to be going down. Nice red here with the Marauders, but there's still 2 Colossi. And again, 0 Vikings. I mean, how many Vikings went down earlier? 9! 9 Vikings went down. A nice thing with the Marauders. Doesn't get the Colossus. Third Colossus does arrive. And there's no answer. There's no answer to the Colossus. GG gets called, and Creator, he snowballs out of control, ties up the series 1-1. And we are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. Go to the ace match. Again, there was potential early on from Percival, but did overextend, did bleed out a little bit too much. And likewise, you saw the deciding moments was that fight outside of the third base. Percival losing 9 Vikings in total, and from there, never really reinvested. From there, just could not keep up with the army. Was just bleeding out too much throughout the course of that game. Couldn't build up and couldn't keep up. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into the ace match. We'll find out how this story ends. Does it go the way of Creator? Does it go the way of Percival? Let's go as we jump into game number 3. Here we go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Little Fairy, being forced into the ace match. We'll see if he can bring it back. It is Percival. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself, representing Team Al-Qadsia Esports. It is Creator. And Creator mixing up this series. Game 1 opening up Robo, Game 2 opening up Stargate, Game 3 Twilight Council. Do we go for the trifecta? What is the plan? What are we going for? What is the opener? But now, welcome one and all to Tokamak. When it comes to more aggressive play, I would say that this map does favor more defensive play instead. The rush distance by ground is longer, and there are a lot more defensible locations. There are a lot more avenues here, a lot more ramps, a lot more points of elevation where you can pull off a defense, even with a smaller army. so it can be more difficult to be aggressive on this map. At least more so than Ultra Love, or more so than Pylon, or more so than some of these other smaller maps. So we'll see how our players do adjust. We could even see Creator be greedy, go 2-gate blink into a faster third. We'll see. Probe scan across the map. It does confirm the racks back at home. Likewise, do you see what I see for the first time this series? Single gas. It is going to be a racks expand economic opener out of Percival. We spoke about it. Aggression is not as favored on this map, and as a result, economic start from the Terran for the first time. So going for a much faster command center. Going for the initial Marine into Reactor. I believe no scouting. Yeah, we're just cutting all the corners. Cutting all the corners. Economic opener. No SCV scout and no Reaper scout either. I believe the first bit of scouting information from Percival is going to come from his Hellion, which is going to be a ways away. Just catching up with the chat. Hello, Salens, 007. Gnome Chomsky, of course. Baby Links as well. Good morning. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Spaguts. Buenos dias. Hope you're all doing well. As we are calming down. So far, we have a technical choice. Twilight Council opener here out of Creator. The Twilight Council. So once again, we do have a different opener. Let's go. We're opening up with Blink. The question becomes, how many gateways? 2-gate Blink, 3-gate Blink, or 4-gate Blink Stalker? Our eyes are going to be on Creator. Hallucination goes in, confirms the 1-1-1. Confirms that we don't have a faster second or third Vax. And likewise, gets eyes on the add-ons as well. So Creator looking very secure. No extra gateway is going to be on the way, so it is going to be 3-gate Blink. Very safe opener here out of Creator. Very safe, not too greedy. With this, we'll have extra Stalkers. And we do have an earlier drop on the way. Interesting. Moving out with Vanilla Marines. Moving out with the initial Cyclone. And this might catch Creator off guard. This is a bit of an offbeat timing. Remember, there's no stim, but likewise, no shield battery. Creator claiming the third base, and can we force a cancel? Marines moving in. Nothing in position. I stutter stepping, and the base is getting low. It's getting low. Cyclone moving in, gets a lock-on. Lock-on on the Adept. Adept goes down. Let's pull back here towards that third base. Nice control. Pulls back the Cyclone as well. Does force a cancel. And nice pickup. From here, going for the Stalkers, doesn't quite get them. Cyclone gets targeted. And Percival, I feel like I have to get the hell out of here. Yeah, it does boost away. Whew, it does boost away, and that was well worth it here. May have lost the Cyclone, but did force a cancel on the third. Did snipe the third base, snipe the sentry as well. Not bad. Back at home, we need bunkers. Now it's time for the counterattack. So we have a tank in the main base and a bunker here at the natural. Soldiers back in. Percival dropping into the main. Bearing in mind this is still going to be a vanilla drop, as in there's still no stim, still no upgrades. 3-1-1 setup. The drop does head into the mineral line. Oh. Drop heads in, but nice positioning here with the Stalkers. Remember, Blink is done. One Stalker goes down, but just the one. Yeah, this wasn't quite worth it here for Percival. Tried to catch Creator out of position. It was a risky maneuver. Wasn't quite worth it. At least the Medevac survives. That was a lot of Marines thrown away. Likewise, the follow-up here is going to be charge +1. We have the Bay on the horizon for Colossus. Creator getting into the mid-game. A dynamic that we, again, didn't really get to see over the weekend. I'll be honest. Barely got to see it. Even in Mario vs. Classic. But I appreciate it nonetheless. As Percival's Mimic gets spotted. We're quite dedicated here on 2 bases, but there we go. Third CC's on the way. Percival is expanding. But now he has his upgrades. Now he has Stim. Now he has combat shields. Let's move out. Like this Creator just trying to buy time. Poking in does force the siege. At the same time, Prism slips into the main. It doesn't quite go for the warp in. But again, he's just keeping Percival busy. Back at home, building up more Colossus, just buying more time. Percival moving in. Does move into the third. Shield Battery is going to be going down. Nice position with the tanks. Force fields are okay. And again, they're just buying time. The first Colossus has arrived. Marines, they stim in. They take down the pylon. Zelda coming from behind. This tank's going to be going down. Does have the Colossus. Yeah, nice time of the Colossus, but the tanks do fall, and that wasn't quite worth it. We'll lose everything. I was tempting to dive. But Creator's holding. Creator, he's holding on. He's got his Gateway Army. 4th base on the way. And it was an impressive dive, but I mean, as we saw, lost everything in the process. Once again, better force fields here out of Creator. Locks down the Marauders. Percival trying to rally in. Taking his own third. Likewise, collapsing forward. Storks are quite in position. Another Viking's going to go down. Sorry, another Colossus I meant to say. Colossus does fall. That is going for Percival. Just keep sniping Colossus. Likewise, Widow Mines did persist. They did persist. Gonna be diving in. Vazella reinforcements have arrived. Trying to force some friendly fire. And base at the mine shots. And Creator cleans up the army once again, forces this back. Oof. Catching out reinforcements. And what's the most scary here is that the armies have been trading back and forth, but Creator, he does maintain his economy. Didn't lose any probes. His 3rd base, his 4th base, all fully saturated. So Creator, he can afford these trades. He's been mining more for longer. More Zealots warping in. This time saves the Colossus. Ooh. Nice juggling. Nice save. Oh my god. His mine shots are going off, and now no more Widow Mines left. Prism taking a lot of hits. Prism is going to go down. But the army's overstimmed the Creator. He's done it. He's done it. He breaks on through. Zealots chase the Marauders. Stalker's moving in. Percival barely holding on. Just barely. But Creator, he wants those workers. He wants to get into that mineral line. Oh. Barely cannot. Ah, never mind. Vikings, they land as the Colossus arrives. And so much damage done on the bio. Boys are being pulled. SCV's going down. Creator, who does deal economic damage. Nice retarding with the Colossus. So Creator moves in. 13 SEV kills. And back at home, getting another expansion. Getting a 5th base. Getting up to 5 bases. Cripples the economy. 21 SEV kills. And just doesn't stop. Just doesn't stop. Focusing down the CC. Oh. Nice EMP. Nice EMP, but again, Percival, he's now contained on 2 bases. Contained on 2 bases. He's got Ghosts, he's got Widow Mines. Like, the quality of the army is there, but doesn't have the quantity. Just doesn't have the numbers. Nice EMP on the Colossus. Creator getting up to 70 probes. Plus 3s on the way. Creator just doesn't let up. And pushing further in. Oh, the Ghost through Clump. And Creator is just overwhelming. There's some nice mine shots here on the Zealots at least. But GG gets called. The writing is on the wall. Percival is contained on 2 bases, cannot expand, and Creator will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the semifinals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations, Creator. He does claim the series, does advance on. Shout out to Percival, looking quite strong, quite powerful in the first game. Again, was much more aggressive in game 1. Game 2 was more quirky because of the Stargate play, because of the Phoenixes. Like, it led into a more awkward kind of mid-game setup from the side of Percival, where he had potential, don't get me wrong, he had potential in Ultra Love, but he did bleed out a little bit too much. The fights just didn't go the way he was hoping they would, and he wasn't quite able to punish Creator in the end. Here in game 3, this was Creator's game. This is where he was a little more comfortable on a larger macro map as well. Percival likewise did embrace the more economic builds, and it did mean that Creator was just so much more comfortable. There was still some nice moments for Percival, don't get me wrong, when it came to some of his early trades, but it just wasn't quite worth it. He was maybe just getting a little bit too excited, a little bit too cavalier, maybe a little bit overly aggressive in game 3 on the ace match, and GG. GG, well played. With that, Creator does claim the series. And up next, we have our first semifinals match. Up next, we're going to be following Creator into his next series. Up next, Creator versus who? Versus Solar. Let's go. It is going to be his EVP